So New Age theology exhibits inclusive and universalistic approach that accepts all personal perspectives on the divine as equally valid. When they say this divine, this is something like a supernatural and ultimately like divination that the Most High says for the children of Israel not to use. This intentional vagueness as to the nature of divinity also reflects the New Age idea that divinity cannot be comprehended by the human mind or language. So they need to, other words, have esoteric or secret knowledge that only a few people have. Now, I'm certainly aware there are powers or entities like the Bible tells us. Let's go here really quick. Ephesians chapter 6, right? Verses 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Most High and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So the devil will come with wiles, and yes, he would offer information. He would offer information how to get rich, how to better yourself. So people in the world that we live in order to better themselves in this society, for them to go up a level and have rulership and dominion, they need this secret knowledge, okay, or forbidden knowledge, to where they would use this thing to their advantage. And so they could see no harm or no wrong in it, although that the Bible says that the Most High, he alone is righteousness. We need to be very mindful and aware that the devil would use the knowledge that he would try to give to. Knowledge means knowing how to do it, right? He would give that and present that to you as if it's okay, and he would package it up and present it to you as not harmful to you. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. So it just so happens to be that we, just off the cuffs of our study series, Israel's purpose. Now we know that Israel, the Most High saved Abraham, our forefather Abraham, because through him, dear family, that there was going to be a lineage, a righteous lineage, that through him, his offspring would be a plant of righteousness. And that righteousness is not his own righteousness. The righteousness is the Most High's commandments. It tells us that in Psalms 119 and 172. Thy commandments is an everlasting righteousness. So this study is going to highlight the battle that we who are in Yeshua HaMashiach, soul winners for the Most High, that there is an entity, there's forces that are there that can see, that we can see, and that we know that will purposely, intentionally try to bound you. And what I mean by bind, because bind means put bands on you to where you cannot able to move and operate. Okay, this is what bands do. But the Most High says, I will bust the enemy's bands asunder. I will bust them off of you. So they'll come teaching us this, what they call higher knowledge, which is really lower knowledge, but they use black magic, they use all these different they use sorcery, all these things to keep the people of God who are supposed to be. That's why the Bible says be sober-minded. Okay, so if you're not sober-minded, and we live in a time again in this with the New Age, there's people, they'll offer to you in Christianity. You got different groups of secret societies. Okay, and ultimately at the helm is the enemy, the devil at the top of it. Ultimately, we know we cut straight to the source and go straight at it, but we cannot be unaware of the devil's devices. So when I'm talking about for the forbidden knowledge that he warned us about, I'm not looking at these things. And there's certain things that I will not even share or open up, because again, when you open something up, especially on the internet now, you have to understand understand WWW 666 in the Hebrew. That's what that wa is. Okay? So this is the information. This is Satan's, is how he would bring all of society to go against the Most High God. The same thing that Nimrod did during his time, the rebellion. Know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And so what we have to do is take unto us the whole armor of the Most High, that we may be able to withstand in the evil day, in the day of what? Perils, of trials. And having done all to stand, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth. So we know that it tells us in Psalms 119 and 142 that the Most High's law is the truth. Okay? St. John 14 and 6, Yeshua says, I am the truth, the way, in life. So we'll begin to find out that these, you have what they call groups of society where they have this hidden or forbidden knowledge. When they do these mystic religions where they're wishing and doing all these particular things, but you, Israel, were made to be and chosen to be a great nation. Now, I want to show you something really quick before I read this introduction. Let me get right to it. Fair use for journalistic and educational purposes only.
America, we can no longer accept your excuses. So I'm asking America to understand, appreciate, and accept the truth that the black community is one of America's greatest assets and not a liability. Our contributions are enormous. It's impossible for America to be the wealthiest country in the world without the contributions of Black America. Our partnership going forward needs to be more respectful, inclusive, and balanced. Now, for all the young people out there, my wish is for you to recognize yourself in these extraordinary icons. We want to inspire you to cultivate your own talents, self-determination.
Now, you just seen, right? I'll stop right there, right? The wish. So right off the bat, now, obviously this has to do with Hollywood, right? You're showing the celebrities, people who have taken the bag, people who have been successful, or what the world deems as successful. And this is the same thing that those at the bottom, God's people, are looking at and inspiring to be. These people already took and went, and took from the cabal to where they're taking knowledge. It's a conglomerate of people, or let's say one group, because all Satan needs is one. Just as the Most High has a people, so does the enemy has a people. And with his people, he uses them to exert. Okay, that means to force and to put in place or utilize as a conduit to bring forth his agenda. Stick with me. So, in Genesis 2 and 17, I'm going back to that video, but I want to lay this down. In Genesis 2 and 17, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. But yet, if you're being shown something that people have eaten from this tree, and you're not putting two and two together, and then they come talking and they're presenting it to you as in a way that's appealing to you. And when I say you, I'm speaking specifically of those who are supposed to be the priests, the prophets, those who were to teach all the other families that came from Adam the way of the Most High God. Stick with me now. So now if they want to be right there in Hollywood and competing with them and doing, and they how do you say this? They lower what? Their standard. They lower their principles, their values. So now you see this has all come out. You've seen the thing about Jeff Epstein, all these different people that we've been knew from what the Most High told us, be not like the world, James 4:4. Any man who is a friend of the world is the enemy of God. So now we have the people that's out in the world, operating in the world as if, and pointing it right back to the people who are the priests and the ministers, the one who makes up the difference. To do what? Get more of the people initiated. This is initiation. So for you to get that, top law firm or the thing that you wanted to be, you have people talk about their secret rights or whatever the case is, right? Well, what is these group of people? They have their own talk shows and so forth and so on, and they have this their secret halls where they go to. But the Most High says he would choose the people, and they would be different. Listen.
And encourage the greatness that lives inside each of you. The greatness.
Let's go back to
extraordinary icons. We want to inspire you to cultivate your own talents, self-determination, and encourage the greatness that lives inside each of you.
Wow, now, so it lives inside of you. So the Most High made every single one of us with the incorruptible seed. But he chose out of all of, when I say that incorruptible seed, that means that you were wired to long for your creator, your maker, to reflect him. But there's something that happened back in Genesis when the enemy came and introduced. We're going to find this out here in this. He introduced to them something that would totally change the trajectory of mankind and mankind's creator. Okay, that oneness, that togetherness, that only can be, how do you say, rectified and reconciled through the dearly beloved Son of his love, Yeshua HaMashiach, who put on flesh. The Son of God became flesh so that he might do what? Destroy sin in the flesh, destroy the works of the devil. Stick with me.
In this room, on this stage, or wherever you are, remember one thing. You are one of the most valuable assets we have. We need you. Your contributions make us stronger. To create the positive change we all need and deserve, your voice must be heard. With you, we can achieve one America. And when we achieve one America, we will achieve one race, the human race.
Okay. Now, on the surface, that don't seem, it doesn't sound bad, but you have to read between the lines and know how they put the oneness. So what if America, hypothetically, I'm posing this question, is hell-bent on going against the Most High, the principles and the values that the Most High says in his word? And he's always, let's go there and let me show it to you. This is the issue here. They'll prop up people who, you know, that we deem powerful, and they have some power to an extent for sure, but there's none that's more powerful than the Most High, right? So we'll see people that we look with longing eyes when we see the gracefulness of the Gentiles. See that when you study when you study Torah, the word of the Most High, and you study the prophecies, we'll see that Israel was made for a purpose. And it's my job, it's our job as Israel. When he talks about that greatness, yes, Israel, you are destined for greatness, but you'll only be great. You are only great because the Most High, who is the great I am, his presence, he dwelt amongst you. When you leave him and leave what he says, you are no longer great. Okay, now it's true that you might have remnants of that greatness that the Most High instilled in you, but you'll never live up to your full potential. Now you can be used to go against what the Most High says, and the devil would use you and destroy as many of you because he knows in your seed. It was prophesied that Jeremiah 31 and 33, that you would inherit, you in Daniel 7 and I want to say 25 through 28, somewhere in there, that the saints would take the whole kingdom under the heavens. So the devil would give you and introduce you to some hidden knowledge that you weren't privy to, or let's say forbidden, that you shouldn't have even been shown, that the Most High wouldn't have shown it to his children because his children weren't prepared to deal with that knowledge just yet. So getting back on point, so man, we see that man ate, right? They consumed it, and man is still consuming, and they're ingesting it. So man ate and ingested from the tree and died. The day he ate of it, it says, I appreciate this verse is debated, and the original Hebrew is used to support varying reasoned interpretations. But I argue that this is literal because I take the understanding that biblically or spiritually, see, people were spiritually dead, they're looking for spirituality. So man always had this intuitiveness of connection, of going back to where he was, because that's a part of the remnant, that remaining, right? That's a part of from when they had the first relationship, Adam, that the Most High made man to do what? To fellowship and commune with. When you go into Hebrews 1, let me show it to you. Watch this. Hebrews 1, stick with me. In verses 13, but to Which of the angels said he, the Most High, at any time, sit on my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool? So the Most High didn't desire in his own infinite wisdom or perfect understanding of all things to make angels to have fellowship with. The Most High don't sit down and have fellowship or communion with angels. He has communion with mankind. Stick with me. So death means separation, and Adam was spiritually separated from the Most High.